I was thinking this morning what a privilege it is to be here. So, if we may just want to close our eyes, if you're comfortable with that, and we're just going to take a few minutes to go inside, and to surrender this day. So, if we have a little background music, a little quiet music going. Okay. So, as we gently close our eyes and start to take some deep breaths in at your own pace. And as we let go with each breath, let's just feel our body starting to relax, starting at the top of the head. And just feeling all the little muscles in the scalp and the face start to let go. The eyes, the cheeks, and down into the neck. On your next exhalation, let's just let the shoulders just release. Just release and let go. And as we begin to feel this wave of relaxation, it goes down through the body to the arms and torso. And we feel ourselves sitting in the chair and release the legs down into the feet. And we just feel the whole body clear of tension. This feeling of peace that passes all expectation. Peace. Peace. And now we focus our attention at that spot, the single eye in the forehead. And we just gently gaze into our inner space. And we begin to see clearing a scene that is our favorite peaceful place. And as that scene washes over us, we feel clean, cleared. We let go. And now we surrender all our cares here to the divine essence. as we surrender, we let go, we begin to give thanks for all that we have and all that we are, because it is enough. We are enough. And now, as we give thanks to the divine Spirit God, Mother, Father, Friend, our pure essence, we begin to come back into this time and space, feeling refreshed and renewed and happy and joyous. We say thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And we begin to feel our body, clear our mind, and enjoy our life. And so it is.
And so it is. Please stand and let us read together our vision and mission statement along with the Declaration of Principles. CSL West Georgia is a joyful global community where everyone belongs. Through our unique spiritual teachings, we provide a safe environment to experience compassionate living. Now, the Declaration of Principles. I believe there is one creative intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe my purpose is to allow this divine mind to express in, as, and through me. I know that this divine presence is a power for good, which responds to my conscious use to create a life filled with health, love, peace, and success in all things. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is.
And so it is. If you will remain standing, we're going to have a congregational here. It's called I Remember Who I Am. I think that might be why we all come here, so we can remember who we all are. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. It's pure spirit. Again. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. It's pure spirit. We are life, we are light, we are love. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. It's pure magic. I remember who I am. I remember is pure magic. Magic. Woo!
And now we will have a reading by Chris Stevens.
All right.
Good morning. So this is from Dr. Ernest Holmes, an article, Our Need for Forgiveness. Dr. Holmes begins this powerful writing by saying, we are all human beings and we all have made mistakes. We all carry an unconscious burden of guilt and we all need a sense of being forgiven. We have all made mistakes. It is part of being human. A person who hasn't made a mistake in their lives is a person who is not living their life. Some of us were brought up to believe that mistakes are something we should be ashamed of or feel bad about. However, mistakes are just that, mistake. We get to do it again. Thomas Edison, who was a prolific inventor, had this to say when asked about how he felt about repeatedly failing to design a working light bulb. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. In this case, we get the feeling that Edison didn't feel like there was anything to forgive. He just went on to the next thing. There was no guilt involved, no remorse. He accepted and learned from the mistake and moved on. Making mistakes can cause resentment, and resentment can lead down a path of despair. Holmes reminds us that we know that a continual state of resentment can produce many types of physical disease. This does not mean just diseases of the imagination. It means diseases that the imagination creates in the body through psychosomatic reactions between the mind and the body. This is something we really want to be aware of because the health of our bodies and the body of our affairs is at stake here. If for no other than our health, we must cultivate the practice of forgiveness. Granted, forgiveness is not always easy, and we owe it to ourselves to find out why that is. Holmes writes, much of our inability to forgive others comes from deep-seated inferiority complex. This is a huge statement for him to make. Holmes says that we may be projecting this onto others because often our antagonistic attitude towards others rises from a need within our own minds to be relieved of our unconscious sense of self-condemnation. Forgiveness is a huge act of self-love. Holmes, as he often did, uses the teachings of Jesus, quoting, "Forgive and ye shall be forgiven." Holmes was clear to state that Jesus was teaching us to bargain with the infinite. Instead, as Holmes says, Jesus was removing the emotional blocks from those who came to him for healing. The lack of forgiveness, which goes hand in hand with judgment, caused tension in the physical and mental body. For healing to take place, this tension must be removed. Forgiveness does this. In the Lord's Prayer, we read, "Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors." The important word here is "as." Simply put, it means forgive us in a way that we forgive others. We are forgiven as we forgive, or in the same way as we forgive. There's something deeper here we want to look at. As we are praying to be forgiven, we are not asking some power outside us to forgive us. We are addressing the God within us, the Spirit within that lives, moves, and has its being as us. This is what Holmes says about it. And now we are putting the proposition in the only place where it can be handled, within ourselves. Holmes goes on to say, "For when there is nothing in us, what would condemn others, then there will be no condemnation left, either toward the self or others. It is then and only then that we unblock the stream of life which so freely flows to all and through all when we permit it. It is the unblocking of the stream that allows us to be fulfilled. And so it is.
And so it is. Oh, well, good morning, everybody. It's so good to see all of you. Connie and I have a song this morning. We're going to try to create a nice mood for spirit to move in among us all so we can hear the beautiful message Reverend Bronte has for us.
Shall we dance? Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Wow, wonderful spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Wow, wonderful spirit. Pour yourself in me, your joy. Pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful spirit. Pour your joy. Pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful spirit. Shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful spirit. Shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful spirit. Sing your song. Sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful spirit. Sing your song. Sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful spirit. Dance and smile. Dance and smile, dance and smile. Oh, wonderful spirit. Dance and smile, dance and smile. Oh, wonderful spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself to my heart. Oh, wonderful spirit. Pour yourself in me. Wonderful spirit. Oh, wonderful spirit.
All right, so please welcome our guest speaker to the podium, Ms. Reverend Bronte Colbert.
Hey. Hey. How are you today? Awesome. Why don't you turn to someone and say hi or hey? We say hi to everybody that's watching online. Okay. Hey. Hey, everybody watching online. Have a cup of coffee for us. Yeah, okay. We're good. Thank you. What amazing music. How about another hey for the music? All right. Okay. And Chris, thank you for that great reading, because one word just jumped out at me, involved in what I'm going to talk about. And the word condemnation just popped out. And because we talk about forgiveness, and usually it's, please forgive me, or trying to forgive somebody that done something to us, but we tend to condemn. We condemn things that are going on in the world sometimes. Maybe none of you do, but I do. Okay. Sometimes I condemn things I don't like to see in the news, or condemn certain ways of thinking, or maybe even some political things. But that's all part of this forgiveness process that we're going to talk about. Well, I'm going to talk about today, if you'd like. I'm going to start my favorite bedside book, This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. It's like he was a poet. I don't know if he ever described himself that way, but he was sure enough a poet. And this little book is so full of yellow highlighting that it kind of glows all on its own. I know that I can make conscious use of the divine law of my being. I know that this law reacts immediately and creatively to my faith. You feel that connection there, right? According to your faith, it shall be done to you. I know that when I speak this word for myself, there is a direct reaction toward me. So some of the words we may be speaking today in this Ho'oponopono exercise can have a direct reaction to us and perhaps to others. I know that when I speak it for others, there is a direct reaction toward them. Oh, thanks, Ernest. That's what I just said. There is no doubt or uncertainty in my consciousness. There is no doubt or uncertainty in my consciousness. I'll say it one more time. There is no doubt, and I'll say that, there is no doubt or uncertainty in my consciousness. I identify myself with the good I desire. I'll say that. I identify myself with the good I desire. And here's a longer one. I have complete confidence that the law of God will respond to me by creating the object of this desire. We can just kind of think on that, okay? No doubt, no doubt. I have a quiet contentment and an inner sense of peace. I have a quiet contentment and an inner sense of peace. No matter what's going on anywhere else, we can hold peace inside ourselves. I have an enthusiastic sense of well-being. I have an enthusiastic sense of well-being. Oh, that's another. Let's do that again. I have an enthusiastic sense of well-being. Woo! I added the woo. He didn't write woo. He might have thought woo, but might have been too woo-woo for him. I know that all the power there is for me. I know that all the power there is for me. Therefore, I put on the whole armor of faith. I put on the whole armor of faith. I am free spirit. I am free spirit. I am perfect life. I am perfect life. It's a longer one again.
I am in conscious union with the God who is right where I am. We'll do that in two parts. I am in conscious union with the God who is right where I am. I am in conscious union with the God who is right where I am. Right here, right now. So, Ho'oponopono. And how many have heard of that before or maybe used it? Oh, awesome. Okay, yay. I heard it the first time about maybe 15 years ago. I was at a UMOS retreat, which is Unity Ministers of the Mid-Atlantic States. They used to meet up at Cayuga in North Carolina, a beautiful spot. Now we've switched to Lake Junaluska. And it was one of my first times, so that's why I'm thinking maybe even 16, 17 years ago. And I arrived on day one. I'd been helping the registrar with some of the registrations, so I knew a lot of the names that were going to be there as far as people from different centers and different ministers and different guest speakers. But I was kind of wandering around, and I didn't really want to sit in a lecture. It was first day, so some of the talks and classes were starting already. And I said, oh, Newsom from Roanoke, who's a minister up in Church of the Triangle, Unity Church of the Triangle, is giving a talk on something I hadn't heard about, Ho'oponopono. And I said, nah, I don't want to go there. But I was walking around outside and said, yeah, I'll go there. So I went in and sat down and listened, and it was about forgiveness, and it kind of made sense to me. And then he said, there's these 4 statements you say. And he explained about the Hawaiian tradition and the ancient Hawaiian chiefs that would meet on one island from the different islands to resolve any differences. And actually the word means to set things right. And they would use it as a forgiveness treatment to get along better. And the 4 statements are, and you can actually say them in any order. I'm sorry, which is acknowledging responsibility and seeking forgiveness. Please forgive me, humbly asking for forgiveness. Thank you, expressing gratitude for the opportunity to heal, according to this sheet. And I love you, fostering love and compassion. Well, first of all, I thought to myself, I am sorry. Well, I went through Barbara King School of Ministry. And when you were at Barbara King, you did not say I am followed by anything negative. Okay. So not I am tired. You wouldn't sit in class and say something, I am sorry that I was late. Somebody would say, Bronte. I'd say, oh, I'm so glad to be here when I am. And so this was really ingrained in me. So I said, I can't say this because I didn't stand up and announce it, but I was thinking it. I can't say I am sorry. I can feel regret for doing something I wished I hadn't done, but it was the word. And I thought, well, maybe I can just play with it a little bit. And then, please forgive me. And I thought, oh, okay, so this is all about something we did. And it's not. And then, thank you. And then, I love you. But what Newsom was teaching us was that by saying these words, we can heal on a much larger scale. A much larger scale. And it's not necessarily something we feel we need forgiveness for. It's those condemnation things that we do, the family member that we just don't want to be around because they did whatever such and such to us, the friend that isn't a friend anymore, that bumped up against us or did something we don't like, or perhaps something going on in the world. Do we have a lot of things we can be judging in what's going on in the world? So as I was sitting there and listening to Newsom and getting very now involved in this process, he was saying, okay, pick 3 things that you would like to use this on. And he gave some examples of his own life where he used it and all of a sudden the energy changed between him and something else going on. something changed. So I sat there and I thought, okay, seeing I'm not doing this, I ended up doing it. Said number one was a female person that I knew who used to be a friend who had just suddenly gotten really negatively talking judgmentally against me. So I could hardly be in this person's presence. It seemed to me that she was talking about me behind my back, telling other people stuff. And I was like, I just never want to be around her again. So I sat with it and I said, I was even going like, do I really want to draw her back into my experience? But this was practice, right? And it probably wasn't going to work. So I did it. I said, I feel sorry. Because I'm going to do the I am, you know. I feel some emotion that feels like sorriness. Please forgive me. And I'm thinking, I don't need forgiving. It was her doing all this stuff. Thank you. And I struggled a little bit with the I love you, even though I know we love from a spirit place to place, and that's always possible. So I did that and sat with it for a minute, because you should sit with it if you're doing it. I mean, you can rattle it off on the car when you're driving through traffic, but if you can sit in a wonderful meditation space like we did today, it's powerful. So that was number one. Number two was a dear friend that we had been texting a lot, and it felt really like a comfortable friendship, even though we didn't see each other a lot in person. But all of a sudden, he had said that there was something I said in a church service or something that just didn't resonate, and he kind of cut the cord as far as texting or sending messages back and forth or any phone calls or anything. And I couldn't figure it out. It was like, why? You know, certainly couldn't have been me. But I did the Ho'oponopono thing for him too, not for me. Okay, there we go again, you know. Oh, there's some sorriness I feel deep in my heart. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Of course, I'm in the energy of this room, like the energy here. And there were a lot of other people chanting it and saying it and thinking about it. And then number three was a family member. Seeing that seems to be one of the things all of us work on a lot. Some, maybe not a close family member, maybe some family member that's even passed on into the brilliance of eternal life. And I thought about this person. I said, you know, I'm fine being disconnected. I'm really fine. Okay. I don't really, but I couldn't think of anyone else. So I did the Ho'oponopono for him too. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I think I did it pretty quick like that. So after I'm in this retreat in a building, and I decided to go to lunch. It was time for lunch. I go up and I get into the line. We all lined up. They used to play a bugle at lunchtime. And this person comes running up to me and gives me a hug. It was person number one. Yeah. And I could hardly say anything because my jaw was dropping. Who had not signed up for the retreat, was not on the list, but all of a sudden that morning felt a deep urge to go into the retreat, even though she had not registered, but a friend said, okay, you can stay with me and it'll be fine. She comes up to me and said, Bronte, I need to tell you something. Now, we had not spoken on even that kind of a friendly term in a long time. And she said, if I have ever done anything to you that caused you any pain or trouble, please forgive me. I mean, I wanted to fall over. And I couldn't even explode. I made you do that because I said Ho'oponopono over you. But I was in awe, right? The very next day, I get a text from the guy that had just cut off communications with me and said, you know, I'm feeling like we should meet halfway on some of these thoughts. Okay. And then the third person, my relative, gave me a phone call within that week for the first time in several years. So this stuff works. This stuff works. One of the reasons it became really popular was the story that was told about a hospital in Hawaii that had, this was in recent times, not ancient times, that was for people that were violently mentally disturbed. The hospital could not keep help. People that were in the hospital were on a lot of medication. There were fights breaking out all the time. They couldn't keep a higher level staff member to try to change things or make things different. And the doctor that came in was a clinical psychologist, Dr. Stanley Hugh Len. When he was hired, everyone was going like, I wonder how long this guy's gonna last. He sat in his office with the stack of folders of the people that were in that hospital, the patients, the violence, the troubled, people that had been there a long time, and I think no one had ever been released from the hospital over 10 years or more. The work he did wasn't with the individuals. The work he did was just looking at their files, and this is really important to me because I think we all have files on people in our lives, or papers or things we've hung on to. And he just basically blessed them with Ho'oponopono every day. Put his hands on the files. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. The I'm sorry part, now you might say, well, he didn't do anything to them or them to him. He was brand new. It's the I'm sorry of consciousness. It's the not living from the divine, all-knowing self. It's the judgment. It's our inability sometimes to see people as perfect and whole. And I agree, a lot of people give us a lot of reasons to not do that. But there he sat. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And within weeks and months, things began to change. People were rehabilitated for the first time. Medication levels stopped or slowed down. New programs were brought in. Staff gladly became new hires to come to this amazing place. So if you're going to do this practice or try it, consider that. And that's, again, when I was rereading all this in the last few days, thinking about those files in our minds. So perhaps we can even bless and move past condemnation on a lot of things. We're going to do some practice on this, if you'd like. Always optional. One source says, the process begins with a prayer. A statement of the problem is made and the transgression discussed. Family members are expected to work problems through and cooperate, not hold fast to the fault. One or more periods of silence may be taken for reflection on the entanglement of emotions and injuries. So, can you think of 3 things that you might want to do this practice on? Don't want to say 3 things to forgive. It can be your own body, your health. I was reminded, also reading Catherine Ponder's book, The Healing Secrets of the Ages, one of her umpteen trillion books that this amazing woman wrote, and she's still in the body. She reminded me about Myrtle Fillmore, Unity co-founder with her husband, Charles. When Myrtle was young, she was diagnosed with tuberculosis, and she was given maybe a year or so to live. But she sat, this was after she was married to Charles, she sat in her closet. She asked permission from her husband to sit in her closet every day. That's another whole thing. But she was sitting in there, some spiritual pictures, blessing her body, asking for forgiveness. And I used to pause when I heard that, like, you need to ask your body for forgiveness? Not necessarily the way she may have been treating it or not, but the way she had been looking at it. Okay? And as she prayed and as she prayed and as she held that thought of my body is whole, and she would go through every part, every organ, every system. I love you. I don't know if she even heard about Ho'oponopono back then. And I don't think Hawaii was a state back then. Telling her body, I love you. Asking for forgiveness, not so much for any way she treated it again, but perhaps for how she viewed it. And she was healed completely of tuberculosis. That's what got her husband into metaphysics. He was doing other things at the time, so he worked on a leg problem he had. So could we have a little of that quiet music that we had at meditation time? Thank you so much, Marcia and Dorothea. If you will, pick 3 things if you would like, or 1 thing. Maybe it's an old family issue. Maybe it's that person that you wish was still part of your life. It can be a person that's transitioned also. For many years, I would worry about the fact that when I was 10 years old, I got mad at my mom and I hit her with my doll. She didn't do something I wanted her to do and broke her glasses. I know that I worked through that and I didn't feel that sense of, oh my gosh, how could I have done that? Who may you feel you might have hurt with your words? Who may have hurt you with their words? Or their lack of presence in your life? And you sit in that consciousness. And you can change the order of those words, but please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. Sit with that a moment. Your thoughts and your energy are so powerful. You are one with divine energy, consciousness. Breathe on it. And go to another one. The next one, if you wish. Might be someone you'd like to reconcile with or hear from. They feel your energy now. I am sorry. or I feel sorriness. Please forgive me. And feel that cleansing energy, that spirit connection working with this, through them, or the person or persons and you. Like a stream of light. We elevate our consciousness above the day-to-day, above the stuff of the world. We are all divine beings, Thank you, we think. I love you, we think. And that deep, deep level of love that passes all understanding. All bitterness, all judgment. You may feel it tingling as it moves through you. And then perhaps a third. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And if you will, let us do one together for our world, for all the things that seem that don't seem like peace, that don't seem like love. For all leaders, would-be leaders, for all people, for those that are hungry, for those that are dealing with things beyond comprehension, for those that feel condemned, for those that feel displaced, for those that are frightened, for those that struggle. For those that we may have passed judgment on. Sorry. Please forgive us for any consciousness we have held of anyone or anything that isn't divine consciousness. We know a higher sense of self in all others. We send out that love. Love, love. And as we continue to pour love out of us, it continues to flow into us. And as we continue to say thank you, we feel so much gratitude and appreciation flowing into us. Do not be surprised in the day and days ahead if you suddenly hear from someone. Allow yourself that grace for that to happen. or someone comes to you and tells you how much they dearly appreciate you, how much they love you. Or even asks for your forgiveness, which of course you have already granted, for them to feel that way. Is it easy? Sure can sound like it. But it's a deep cleaning, cleansing of our own memories, our own judgments, our own perceptions. And as we do that deep inner work, do not be surprised at all the light that flows and floods and sparkles and twinkles and bubbles into your life. Because you are amazing. You are amazing beings on an amazing journey. And I'll close out with another short piece by Ernest. I know that I can make conscious use of the divine law of my being. I know that this law reacts immediately and creatively to my faith. I know that when I speak this word for myself, there is a direct reaction toward me. One more. Knowing that this loving presence is always closer to me than my very breath, I have nothing to fear. I feel this loving protection around me. I know that the song of joy, of love, of peace is forever chanting its hymn of praise and beauty at the center of my being. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Therefore, I tune out my mind all unhappy and or negative ideas. I turn the dial of my thoughts into the sunshine of life, into brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of spirit. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me into my affairs. Joyfully, I anticipate greater abundance, more success, and a deeper peace. Joy wells up within my mind and life. Joy wells up within my mind, and life sings its song of ecstasy. Ecstasy in my heart. And so it is. Thank you. Blessings. And blessings to everybody watching online or from home. And I know that you've got good energy around you, but in here, oh my God.
All right. It's a hard act to follow there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pep it up a little bit. Chris was talking about self-forgiveness in his reading, and so are you, and it's very important for all of us. There it comes. And this is a song I wrote called It's Time to Forgive Yourself. Tell God your secrets, I'll tell mine. Relieve your face, it's healing time. There's magic in the telling, and we all know forgiveness is a river, just let it flow over you, through you. How long will you punish yourself? 30 days, 30 months, or 30 years. You built mountains of regrets, cried oceans of tears. So how long till you forgive yourself? How long till you let go and let God? How long? How long? There's no mistakes here, just lessons to learn. Pray for tomorrow and let the past burn. There's magic in the telling, and I'm telling you, forgiveness is a river, let it flow through you, let it flow, let it flow. How long will you punish yourself? 30 days, 30 months, or 30 years. You've built mountains of regrets. You've cried oceans of tears. How long till you forgive yourself? How long till you let go and let God? How long till you forgive yourself? How long? How long till you forgive yourself? It's just lessons to learn. There's no mistakes here, that's what we must learn. That it's time to forgive yourself. I don't know what happened. What? It's not coming out of there. No, it's not coming through the... Oh, gosh. I'm not going to start over. Yourself. It's time, we change it here, to forgive yourself. It's time to let go and let God. It's time to forgive yourself. It's time to let go and let God. It's time. That was great. I just wanted to hear you guys sing. That's all. There you are.
All right, and now it's time for conscious giving to our community. Money is a spiritual activity. Spiritual giving is an opportunity to express our gratitude and open our consciousness to receive greater abundance. It is the practice of participating in the circulation of universal good. We have 3 ways to give here at CSL West Georgia. You can put cash or a check in the envelope found in the bulletin. You can also donate online by accessing your personal Breeze account using the Breeze mobile app on your phone. And also you can donate electronically with your phone by using the information found on the back of the bulletin. This information is also being placed in the chat window for our online viewers. If you donate online, either using your phone or your Breeze account, please put an online giving card in the collection plate to acknowledge your contribution. If you did not pick one up at the door, you can get one from the usher. Now, as one conscious for prosperity, let us say together, freely I give with a feeling of abundance, knowingly that my gift blesses others and myself as well.
Freely I give from my heart and from my soul. Freely I give, freely I give, and the gifts come back to me tenfold. Lovingly I give, lovingly I give, giving from my heart and from my soul. Lovingly I give, lovingly I give, and the gifts come back to me tenfold. Joyfully I give, joyfully I give, giving from my heart and from my soul.
And together we say, I am grateful for the divine givingness circulating abundantly through my life, our community, and our world. All right, announcements time. Our speaker next Sunday is Dr. Tamara Stevens. She gave an amazing talk the last time she was here, and we are looking forward to another wonderful message next week. For our special event on March the 31st, Easter Sunday, we will be celebrating our oneness with the divine as we once again experience an amazing sound bath with Emily and Nelta. The sounds of the crystal bowls used in the sound bath are truly breathtaking. In memory, as many of you are already aware, our dear friend and founding member, Lois Edmond, made her transition on Monday. We send her love and light and know that she is joyfully moving forward into her next journey. We will keep you notified as to upcoming details for the Celebration of Life service. And any visitors, if we have any visitors today with us, please raise your hand so that our usher can bring you a welcome packet. And also on social media, please connect with us on our social media platforms. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And the more you connect, the more visible we will be to others. So I was given this book. We are reading this book. It's a workbook. It's called Forgiveness, A Path, a Promise, a Way of Life by Michelle Wadley. And this is a workbook that we're doing every Thursday. We will be doing this every Thursday. Okay, so if anyone would like to purchase a copy, we have them here. And now I will bring up Chris. He also has an announcement.
Come on, Chris.
So, an easy announcement. We could use some more readers. I know that everybody kind of shies away from reading, but we should all get up here and we should do some reading. It's not all that hard. Okay, so we should do this. If I can do it. Okay, so we should do that. And there we go.
Thank you.
All right, now for our closing affirmation. Let us stand and say our closing affirmation. We go forth today knowing that we are God's blessing in the world. Only good goes from us. Only good comes to us. And so it is.
So we like to get in a circle here and sing the peace song. It's not picking up over there. Okay. Let there be peace on earth Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With Spirit as our Creator, united all of we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment, peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it